Have you ever wondered why some people just don't care about sports at all? While some people get completely caught up in matches, teams, rivalries, and results, others feel almost nothing. They don't check the scores, they don't follow the season, they don't watch the big games, and they often can't understand why everyone else gets so emotional about it. To many sports fans, that can seem strange. But from a psychological point of view, it actually makes a lot of sense. One major explanation comes down to personality and how people respond to different types of interest. In psychology, people vary in something often described as reward sensitivity. This means some brains respond more strongly to certain kinds of stimulation than others. For sports fans, things like competition, uncertainty, loyalty, and group identity can create a powerful emotional reward. A last-minute goal, a close match, or a team rivalry can trigger excitement, tension, pride, and even a sense of meaning. But for other people, those same things simply don't create the same response. Their brain doesn't register sport as especially exciting, important, or rewarding. It isn't that they're trying to be different, it's just that their interest system is pointed somewhere else. Another important factor is social identity. Research in social psychology, especially work connected to social identity theory, suggests that people often connect with groups because it gives them a sense of belonging. Sport is one of the most common ways people do this. Supporting a team gives people something shared. It creates a feeling of we instead of just me. It gives people a side to stand on, a group to celebrate with, and sometimes even a rival group to push against. But not everyone builds identity through groups in that way. Some people feel more connected through ideas, creativity, personal goals, work, technology, music, art, or individual interests. For them, sports fandom can feel unnecessary, or even a bit forced, because they don't need a team badge or a shared rivalry to feel connected to who they are. There's also the role of early experience. Many strong interests begin when we are young. If someone grows up in a home where sport is always on TV, where family members celebrate matches, talk about players, and emotionally invest in results, that person is more likely to form a connection with sport. Over time, the brain links sport with excitement, family, identity, and belonging. But if someone wasn't surrounded by sport growing up, or if it was never treated as important in their environment, that emotional link may never form. So as an adult, they don't feel like anything is missing. To them, sport can just seem like background noise, something other people care about, but not something that naturally pulls them in. Another psychological explanation involves cognitive preference. Some people are naturally drawn to activities that involve abstract thinking, deeper analysis, long-term problem solving, or creativity. Now, sport absolutely can involve strategy, skill, pressure, and intelligence. But to someone whose mind is more attracted to ideas, systems, science, philosophy, business, art, or technology, sport may appear repetitive or less mentally engaging from the outside. That doesn't mean sport is simple. It just means different brains are stimulated by different forms of complexity. One person may find deep meaning in a football match. Another may find that same feeling in building something, learning something, creating something, or solving a difficult problem. There's also the emotional side. Sport can be extremely intense. It can create excitement, anger, hope, frustration, disappointment, and relief, sometimes all within a few minutes. For some people, that emotional roller coaster is part of the enjoyment. They like the tension, they like the uncertainty, they like feeling invested in something that can change at any moment. But for others, that level of emotional unpredictability feels unnecessary or even draining. Some people prefer activities that feel calmer, more controlled, or more internally rewarding. They don't want their mood affected by a score, a referee decision, or whether a team wins or loses. So instead of putting emotional energy into sport, they direct that energy somewhere else. Interestingly, not caring about sports can also be connected to independent thinking. Personality research often shows that some people are less influenced by social expectations than others. Since sport is one of the most widely shared forms of entertainment in the world, not engaging with it can simply reflect a person who's comfortable stepping outside the mainstream. They aren't rejecting sport to be difficult. They may just be less motivated to like something purely because everyone else does. And this is probably the most important point. Not caring about sports does not mean someone is boring, emotionless, antisocial, or lacking passion. It usually means their passion is aimed somewhere different. They might be deeply interested in music, technology, business, psychology, design, cars, fitness, gaming, science, philosophy, or countless other things that give their brain the same excitement sports gives to someone else. In the end, human behavior is shaped by a mixture of personality, environment, early experience, emotional preference, and the way each person's mind finds reward. Sport is just one way people connect with the world. It is not the only way. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video and want more content about psychology, personality, and understanding why people behave the way they do, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.